Okay friends, one of the first things we have to do to get started on our job is to safely raise and support the front of the car so the wheels are off the ground. After that, we're going to remove all 5 of our lug nuts and then the wheel. Now that the wheel's out of the way, we have a nice clear view of our rear shock. Now I just want to let you know right off the bat, you don't necessarily have to remove the wheel. You can try to squeeze your arms up inside here and access the 2 mounting bolts from up top, and then climb underneath the rear of the car and access the lower bolt as well. For me personally, it's just easier to go ahead and remove the wheel. Now we're just going to apply a little bit of upward pressure on this just to kind of hold it where it is. Looking up inside your wheel well, you're going to find your 2 mounting bolts up along the top. Let's remove the pair. Now let's remove the lower bolt and hold the shock at the same time. Now we need to remove the mount from the shock itself. There's a nut right up top. Go ahead and remove that. Remove that nut. A little bit of penetrant. There it is, friends. Now before we can install our brand new shock, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and charge it up. What I mean by that is I'm going to carefully press down on this, remove this piece right here, and I'm going to let it fully expand. Once it fully expands, I'm going to go ahead and press it down, let it come back up. Now that it's all the way up, let's go ahead and press it down and let it come back up another 3 to 5 times. Now the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and clean up the threaded area on all of our bolts. After that, put on a little bit of red thread locker and let's get ready to install our brand new shock. Now let's put the mount on top of the shock here. Take your new nut, start it on there, and tighten it up. To tighten up the mount, you might happen to notice that the shaft of the shock itself is going to spin as you tighten up the nut. I'm just going to hold the top of the shock itself, and then I'll tighten up the nut with my wrench. Okay, that's nice and tight. I'm just going to double check just to make sure that it doesn't have any movement between the upper mount and the shock itself. This feels great. Let's get it in the car. Now we're going to clean up the top area of the mount here. Clean this area as well. Okay, let's get our shock in there. I'm going to come right from the bottom. Bring it up into the wheel well here. We'll take both of our bolts with some red thread locker on them, start them in there. Start my bolt in there with some red thread locker. Let's torque this to 85 foot-pounds. Let's get this out of here. Let's torque these top bolts to 18 foot-pounds. Now we can get the wheel back on the ground and torque it to 81 foot-pounds. Torqued. All right, friends, the shock's all done. What's left to do? Now you're going to go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other side of the vehicle. When you do one shock, you make sure you do them both. After that, take it for a road test, make sure you don't hear any funny noises, and get yourself a 4-wheel alignment.